ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another episode. Welcome to the Top 3 podcast. In front of me, I got the usual.
Fola.
And on my right, I got a special guest.
Very special guest.
The one, the only, the Delulu of the Delulus. The number one Chelsea fan I know. The number one ball connoisseur I know. The professor himself, Xavier Hamza.
Thank you. I appreciate the welcome. You know, it's long overdue for you guys to see me cook this guy because he's going to get exposed. But I'm going to just leave it at that, and we'll just continue.
So, have a special menu.
I was going to say, before we get in, I guess you just got to, but before we get into today's episode, a big thank you to everyone who showed a lot of support in the last video. I saw some of the numbers. We did pretty well. You know, thank you for everybody who commented, who liked, who shared. We appreciate the support a lot. So shout out to you guys.
Shout out to y'all. So today on our menu, we have Morocco and Senegal, their premature exit. And then we have Nigeria and Congo going through the quarterfinals of Afcon. We also have a big news that happened last week with Jurgen Klopp.
The greatest news you guys will ever hear in your life. This guy's finally leaving.
With Jurgen Klopp finally leaving Liverpool?
Yes, bro. This guy just... I'm not going to say much right now, but I'm going to just leave it at that.
And then we have the falling off of the offensive side of the game. So this is a curious topic because a lot of people claim that players like Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Cole Palmer are world-class players, but we believe at this table that the term world-class in terms of wingers and strikers have fallen off.
Yeah, a lot, immensely, in my opinion.
So we'll discuss that today. And then last but not least, Arsenal and Liverpool are supposed to play this Sunday. So we'll discuss a little match preview of this game, okay? So without further ado, take us away.
Okay, so the Afcon, another set of beautiful games just passed. And the so-called best teams in Africa, what's going on? What happened to them? We had Morocco, who had that amazing run in the World Cup. They're out. Senegal, who've had the king of Africa on their side, Sadio Mane. They're out. And so now we have some underdogs. You know, my country, Nigeria, you know, we seem to Super Eagles. We're flying high. And then we have, what do you guys call yourselves again?
Liliopa.
Okay, yeah, the Leopards, you know, they're still in it for the run. And so, yeah, what do you guys think, what do you think has happened? You know, Morocco, from that transition to the wonderful run in the World Cup to now not doing so well in Afcon. What are your takes?
So, number one, I'll start off with the Boo Congolais. You know, Congo. No, it's okay. It's okay.
That's a Congolese thing.
No, you'll see us. You'll hear the anthem in the final.
No, okay,
where you will not be.
I got you.
So basically, I said it from the beginning. You can go back to the first episode to the second episode. I keep saying Congo defensively, nothing to say. I think we're the strongest team defensively in this competition. But we put players on locks. We can see dumb goals, but our problem is offensively. These guys, they shoot from anywhere. These guys have no touch in the final third, but we got the job done. We eliminated Egypt. We're going to get rid of Guinea, whichever one it is, because y'all have 4 of them. We'll get rid of one of the Guineas on Friday. And then, like I said, it's the knockout round. Anything can happen. So I personally believe that Congo's going to the finals because we're slated to play.
So you think if Congo pulls up against Ivory Coast,
we'll win because we're supposed to play them if they get through in the semis.
Even Guinea out, you're underestimating Guinea as a country. Like, you know who they have up front, right?
Who?
Homeboy at Stuttgart, no?
Who?
What's
Guirassy?
his name? Yeah, Guirassy.
I understand, like, in a lot of ways, defense can win you games in competitions. We've seen that with most notably Chelsea 2021. But also it's like your offensive game is so lackluster.
It's so ass.
The way that they just blick shots from anywhere, it makes you wonder what are they putting together in like their training. So obviously you guys are a good country. Any team that's left in the competition right now, they're good countries. Naturally for me, the standouts are Nigeria. That's a problem. They could easily...
We know.
They could easily do anything as long as they have that man, Victor Osimhen, the king of Africa, up front. But for you guys, I think you're underestimating Guinea, but I understand it's your country. You guys just took out Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. So naturally, you're riding on
But-
a lot of.
But to be fair, sorry to cut you off, but like me personally, as soon as number one, Salah left the competition, and like Egypt, their first game, because I watched their first game, they were not good. They won by a penalty that was given to them in the last like 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Second game, not good either. It was against Ghana, not good. Ghana gifted them 2 goals. Ghana should have gone through, by the way, and Ghana gifted them 2 goals. So I knew we would beat Egypt, and then they got a red card early in extra time. So we should have won this game. This game should not have gone to penalties. It still went because, with all due respect, my Congolese brothers will know, we're not a serious institution when it comes to football. These players are not serious. They're not committed enough, but we still get the results. And I personally think that the euphoria and the joy that we have reaching the quarterfinals will go to the semis. And I think when we play in Ivory Coast, we will beat Ivory Coast.
Okay, so you're banking on willpower to take you to lift the trophy. Okay. I would say with Nigeria, in all honesty, as good as we've been, I'm not really convinced about our performances. Like, I watched the game, and yeah, we scored 2 goals. Shout out to Ademola Lookman, but some of them just seemed the second goal was good, but the first goal was kind of scrappy, and then we've been dragging out.
The first goal should have never went in. By the way, if there's a real keeper, it doesn't go.
The first
Cameroon
goal,
just doesn't produce keepers, bro.
I don't know how that happened, but yeah, we've just been dragging out wins. So yeah, it's been good that we've got it here so far, but I need a convincing performance, and we're playing Angola next. Okay, I haven't watched these guys the entire competition, but I watched the highlights of the last game. These guys are monsters, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. These guys are monsters.
Angola's tough.
They had they were a man down. I think they scored 2 goals out of nowhere. Then the other team got a red card too, and then they scored the 3, and they just kept going. Those guys, they look scary. I will be honest.
I understand your concern because as we discussed prior before we started filming, like, we only look at Afcon being unpredictable just because we think World Cup performances translate to Afcon, but they really don't. Like, you really need to, for example, I was reading some comments yesterday, and I found out that South Africa had beaten Morocco last year. So to some people, it doesn't necessarily come as a surprise because naturally South Africans, they know what their country is up to. And from what I saw, they were calm. South Africa, that free kick goal.
Yes, beautiful goal.
For the goal.
Beautiful
For
goal.
the goal.
First goal too. Like these were proper goals against Morocco. It was only Sam who's not here, by the way. Sam was the one who thought Morocco was gonna do something. I was like, bro, these guys are not. This is not for them to win.
Bro, they struggled against us. Like, if you watch the last 45 minutes of the game against Congo, they were getting packed. And like I said, these guys just can't finish for their life. But they were getting packed against Congo, bro.
Even with a chance to tie the game, I'm sorry, but that was probably one of the worst penalties I've seen in a long time from
Hakimi. Bro,
Hakimi.
let me speak about that. One thing I hate, bro, is disrespectful to offensive players. Why are defenders taking penalties? I understand he might be the best player, but there's no way you don't have a striker or a midfielder
who can't take a penalty.
You can't take a penalty.
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
agree with that.
It's like when I see Sergio Ramos take penalties over Benzema. I'm legit. I'm just like, bro, I understand you're scoring them. The placement is good. Yeah. But move to the back, bro.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%.
They paid the price.
Yeah.
Well, do you see Hakimi score goals as a PSG fan like that?
No, but first of all, I don't think Hakimi is as good as everyone says, and he knows this. He knows this. He knows I don't think Hakimi defensively, non-existent. Hakimi, when it comes to passing, non-existent. Okay, he's got that little run. He can cross whenever, but bro, for me, I don't rate Hakimi like that. He can score a goal, sure, like once every 5-10 games, as he should. He's a right back. But he should never be taking a penalty to send his country through extra time at a competition. Never. That should never happen.
You see, everything he just said about Hakimi, except for the passing, is what we say about Trent. But, I'm going to just keep it at that.
Trent's a way better defender than Hakimi.
I think I'm gonna have to. I'll be honest to say I don't watch Hakimi as much, but to be honest, Trent's performances defensively I don't think have been that terrible.
Yeah, they're not terrible, but like I always say, if you put him against an elite attacker, which, let's be frank, we all know that there aren't a lot. That's why we're going to be speaking about that later on. And once he's against elite company, This guy's gonna fold, fam. He's gonna get turned over, fam.
Well, before we transition to the next topic, just the last thing I want to touch on the Afcon game was Amrabat with the red card, getting sent off.
That's
for
your
Morocco.
player.
Yeah, as a Man United fan, what do you think? Keep Amrabat? Do you want to extend this loan to a full-time contract, or do you want him gone?
Honestly, Amrabat, you might have to call him the professor from what's it called, Money Heist, because this guy's a thief. There's no way that we got fooled by his World Cup games. So we paid 10 million for the loan, bro. And imagine if we actually bought him earlier in the summer and we actually bought the player.
Long term.
Amrabat is a thief.
Yeah.
And this guy, Fiorentina's calling your name. Next summer, be prepared to train, because he didn't train the whole summer with Fiorentina.
Yeah.
Next summer, be prepared to train with your team, because this guy's not a Manchester United player.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm unconvinced by his performances. He hasn't shown me a reason for him to be at the club. So, you got sent off from Morocco and you got your stuff packing. When you come back to Old Trafford, you got to get your stuff packing. You got to be on your way out. I'm sorry, bro.
Morocco,
Anyways,
man.
we're going to move on to the Premier League. And the biggest news that came out of the Premier League over the last week was Jurgen Klopp speaking out, saying that he's not going to be at Liverpool at the end of the season.
I woke up with a smile.
Music
on
to my
face that
ears,
morning, man. I woke up with a smile
I'm
on
music
my
to a lot of people's ears. I'm sure you were happy, Hamza.
I was definitely happy, because this is a man. He loves to complain about Chelsea and City spending, blah blah blah. Like, that's my first main issue with this guy. I respect for Klopp as a coach. He's a great coach. One of the pioneers of gegenpressing. He's pushed Pep to 100-point seasons, 99-point seasons, final match day, title victories, and so on. So, non-biased, of course, I recognize him and his legacy, his stature in the Premier League. It's massive. But eliminating this guy out of the Premier League, I'm telling you right now, Liverpool fans, they think it's all sunshine, roses, rainbows.
It's the end of an era.
Bro.
It's the end of an era. Remember who said that? ETH. It's the end of an era. Klopp is gone. It's the beginning of a new era now.
Nah. Keep going.
Like, Klopp leaving, it opens up a spot for Chelsea.
It's
Okay.
not with Poch. Not with Poch.
okay.
Not with Poch.
Go ahead, your turn.
Okay, I was gonna say Jurgen Klopp. As a Man United fan, I'm supposed to hate Liverpool. I'm not really meant to, side with them at all. But I actually like Klopp, and I love what he's done with Liverpool. I think I remember the Liverpool team he inherited when he first came. Terrible team. Now he's turned a bunch of them into and signed new players, made them world-class players. And I love his personality. I love him just being in the Premier League in general. So it was a shock to see him go. But at the same time, as a United fan, this guy has dealt me with so much trauma. And 9 years since last season 7, I don't even want to. I don't even want to finish. I hate thinking back to that game.
I don't remember this game, though.
Honestly, because I couldn't even watch the game. Every minute, my heart was. If you guys didn't know, I had asthma, but when I was watching that game, it came back. My asthma came back because of that game. So I'm happy that he's had his little run, and like the man Eric Ten Hag said, eras must come to an end, and Liverpool's era. It's come to an end, and a new one will be brewing. New one is brewing
because he brought a lot of newer fans to Liverpool's community, so they don't remember how us growing up as 10, 11-year-olds, we wouldn't see them in the top 4 races, and Man City has
7
replaced them. Yeah. And then now they don't understand how, okay, you're gonna bring in a new coach, because we all can assume it's going to be Xabi Alonso. It's not necessarily the correct successor given the players that they have right now, because we're going to see how Trent might do with a new manager. And I don't know, what do you think?
I personally think Trent, with whoever manager he gets, the manager has to maximize who your best player is. That's the role of a manager. You have to put your best players in the best situation for them to produce. I don't think Trent, Salah, or Van Dijk are going to be affected with any managers that come, simply due to their status at the club. Think about it from your perspective. You had Hazard, right? Hazard at Chelsea every season, every new manager, Mourinho, Conte, Sarri, they had to put Hazard in the best position possible because he's the best player on the club. You have to make it easy for him. Me personally, if Xabi Alonso comes, Trent can forget about defending. He's not gonna defend at all. We call Frimpong a right winger because the only thing he does is bomb or forward.
Yeah, that's very true. I agree with that, but obviously, like, this whole new midfield role for Trent at Liverpool, it's new. Like, we seeing Trent, his development at Liverpool, we can't lie to ourselves and just say that he's been like a midfielder the entire time. This is something that's newer. So he will have a more offensive role. But the thing is, one thing I have a bone to pick with this guy again too, when we had a back five with Tuchel, and then Reece James was playing wing back, this guy would call Reece James a right winger, which he wasn't. But now you're gonna hype up Trent playing the right wing Frimpong role. Huh?
First of all, when it comes to Reece James and Trent, there is no conversation. There is no discussion.
There's definitely a conversation.
There is no discussion.
I think there was at a point in time, but just the fact that you can't trust Reece James' fitness levels and just how much Trent keeps excelling, it's hard to make a case for
100%.
Right now.
But that I conceded like a couple months ago. I said the best ability is availability. That's why I'm not going to entertain these conversations anymore. If you want to talk to me about our right backs, we have Malo Gusto sitting right there, fam. Give him a year. For some reason, I'm going to call him your boy because you guys love him as United fans. I don't understand why. You two, you guys love Trent Alexander-Robinson.
Yeah, you have to give props when props is due, and I think Trent, he deserves those props. So I'll back him up personally.
Yeah, me personally, Trent, you are a footballer, my friend. You are. Trent is the definition of someone that grew up playing the game. Like, he was born with a football at his feet, bro. The way that he sees passes, the way that he understands the game, bro, you have to respect a player like this.
Yeah,
he's a once in, I don't want to say
because
lifetime.
He's generational.
He's a once in a generational player. Yeah. And Reece James is just not a once in a generational player.
But he doesn't, he's a fullback. He doesn't need to be a generational talent because he understands the fundamentals of playing that position. For example, are we going to talk about Courtois the same way we talk about Reece James just because he doesn't have the ability to play it at the back like Ederson does? No. People bring to the table what they do for their position, like the fundamentals of their position, which is, for example, a goalkeeper. All I want for you to do is just save shots. Yeah. I grew up on check. That's all I need. That's all I ask. That's why I don't want Robert Sanchez to start for a team. He's not even that good at playing it up from the back either way.
Yeah, he's not good.
So when I'm looking at a right back, what do I want first? I want one with a defensive mentality first. I grew up with Ashley Cole as a left back. I grew up with, even though I don't like this guy, Aspilicueta as a right back, Ivanovic as a right back. I've seen proper fullbacks.
Bosingwa.
You see, I agree with that because it's like when you see something like that, it makes me think of like Onana United. It's like, first things first, buddy, you need to be able to stop shots. All these passing out from this from the back stuff, like, it's a plus if a goalkeeper can do that.
Yeah.
But if you can't do the fundamentals, I don't see why, you should be costing us 50 million, But I would have to disagree because Trent does not, it's not like he lacks those defensive, attributes. So it's not like Reece James exceeds in them way more than Trent does. He's better defensively, but it's not like the way Trent is better offensively. There's a huge gap between Trent and Reece James when you're talking offense. When you're talking defense, I don't think it's that much of a gap. I think Reece is the better defender, but at the same time, like you said, the best ability is availability. Trent is always there. Like, when is he not able to play?
100%. That's why I brought that up. But because like I previously told you guys off camera, we have a lack of elite offensive weapons in this game, particularly from the 11 position. So if Trent is going to be tasked with man marking that opposition player, you already know he's not going to have an easy time. Versus a man like Reece James, you give him Kavicha, you give him
Vinny,
you give him Vinny, you give him Leao. He's going to be there 100%.
He did his one-on-one.
And also, when he had like his full seasons of, not being injured, his goal and assist numbers were phenomenal. Like, they were comparable to Trent. So let's not act as though there's a vast gap in offensive ability, offensive output between Reece James and Trent. Because if anything, the defensive gap between the two is much larger. Because he could guard these elite talents. All of these players are going to say, yeah, Reece James is the toughest defender right back I've had to play against. We know this. Nobody's going to say that about Trent.
I hear Wan-Bissaka's name a lot more than
From
I hear
who?
Reece James.
From who?
It's true.
More
It's
than-
true.
who?
Like,
Who?
you have to give...
Who? Any names?
Okay, I'm not... You're going to laugh, but you shouldn't really laugh because he's a good player. But Wilfred Zaha, remember when Wan-Bissaka made that tackle against
On
Palace
him, yeah.
last year? And then, what's his name? Whoa, I just said his name from Palace.
Zaha.
Yeah, Zaha. He said, oh, once I looked back and I saw it was Aaron. He basically said he's the only person who could do that scoop tackle. So he's not chatting shit. Like, especially Wan-Bissaka's first season, like, this was a player. I don't know what happened to him.
No, that first season, the streets will never forget. Him, Maguire, me, Maguire, that first game against Chelsea. I said, ladies and gentlemen, we got a player. Because remember, not only
That was a bad game still, I'm not going to lie.
we smoked them 4-0.
I was so happy. I thought we are never going to get revenge from when they beat us 4-0.
We had youngins on the pitch, bro.
No,
Take
they
that
did.
dub, it's fine.
But the way Maguire was just so commanding, clearing the ball, like the way he bodied Abraham, it was something to witness. But me personally, when it comes to, the Trent, Reece James debate, I personally believe that just everything that Trent does is just so more valuable than what Reece does.
Yeah.
Like, we can value, as a right back, your first job is to defend, okay? But let's not pretend, like you said, let's not pretend Trent is terrible at defending. He's okay. He's better than the most average right back at defending. Yeah. But when it comes to the attacking side of the game, he's not okay. He's not
elite,
good.
yeah.
He's not great. He's elite.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than this guy right there.
And I see, I'm a huge fan of Reece James. If you had asked me a couple months ago, 100%, I would say Reece James. I like him a lot. I think he's almost like the complete right back. I think even you raise a few points that when you look at their offensive outputs, that at the end of the day, Reece James can cross the ball. He can
very comfortably.
Very comfortably.
Reece James,
Reece James
is the right back Ashley Cole though. Like defensively, fam, you're not getting past Reece James. Like, as a winger, if you're in the Premier League and you want to test your abilities, you go play against Reece James, and we'll see if you're that. Doku, we know how I feel about Doku. Doku did not pass the Reece James test. You have to pass the Reece James test.
You see how he just said Reece James test? Is there a Trent?
No, but that's literally what I said. I said, like, defensively, Reece James is as good as it gets. He's the Ashley Cole, bro. Ronaldo said himself, Ashley Cole's the toughest fullback I've ever faced. Reece James is the Ashley Cole of right backs. But it doesn't matter because Trent is just that much better.
But yeah, we're heading into some heated territory.
But what about who do you think the successor for Klopp is going to be?
For Liverpool? Well, I think where people's minds are at right now is probably
if you give your top 2 or top 3, because Xabi Alonso is the easy choice.
Yeah.
But people are saying that Tuchel's going to get the boot if Bayern doesn't win.
I don't think Tuchel should go anywhere near Liverpool at all. I think he's going to pull that club down.
But I was saying that, like, Xabi could go to Bayern, for example. So I'm just, like, asking, who are your top 2 candidates for Liverpool, do you think?
Personally, I think, this guy will be a good manager for any club, really. So I'll put him, if I'm to do a top 3, I'll put at number 3, I'll probably put De Zerbi there. I think wherever he goes to, he kind of has that Midas touch. He's going to do a good job. And Liverpool seem like the type of club who are going to back him. So I think that will be a good fit too. But just with links to Barcelona, I feel like he probably would prefer that Barcelona job over Liverpool, in my opinion, I think, for De Zerbi. But I'll put him 3rd. And then over him, obviously Xavi first. Just above De Zerbi, a bit of a forgotten man. But Nagelsmann, maybe. I'll put him there too.
Real.
I think he's a good manager. I think when he was given an opportunity at Leipzig, he was doing a decent job for them in the Bundesliga. You guys have to remember, it was Leipzig before it was Leverkusen, So he was doing a decent job there. Then he got to Bayern and things didn't really work out for him. And that's not because he's not a good manager, but just because the expectations for Bayern Munich as a club is stupendous.
Sky high.
So I think he'll
It's
do a really
Champions League
good
or
job.
bust.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he'll do a really good job at Liverpool as well.
What do you think?
So I do agree. Like first is definitely Nagelsmann, because with the players that they have, it would be a relatively seamless transition. I did not think about De Zerbi though, which I think is a good shout given already how this guy believes, and I'm starting to see it. McAllister is a system player, so who's the best man to bring him out? His former coach, obviously. Thankfully, we don't have that issue with Caicedo, so you know what I'm saying.
Here we go.
But I think also Hansi Flick,
That's what I was gonna say.
because I think he's gonna go to Barcelona because Laporta really wants Hansi Flick. So I've been reading that that's a huge possibility. But yeah, those three would probably be the ones that I see most going to Liverpool.
Me personally, I think Liverpool is gonna get Hansi Flick, and I think Barcelona is gonna get Thiago Motta. When it comes to now, I'm telling you, there's possibilities.
It's not that I don't believe you, but like I don't think Thiago Motta is ready for that big jump.
Nah, I know, because handling that pressure for Barca and even Liverpool, like Xabi Alonso, he came to Leverkusen last November, so November 2022, so or December 20, like he came last year, so it's really his first full season as a coach. You're gonna go from Leverkusen to Liverpool, like within 1 year. It's a big deal, and for me personally, I think it's gonna be Hansi Flick. The try hard, the pressing, the
But
intensity.
wait, sorry to cut you off. If we think that him jumping from Leverkusen to Liverpool is a big jump, what do you think of De Zerbi potentially? Because like we had Graham Potter come to Chelsea, which was a very big jump.
I didn't mention De Zerbi.
Okay,
I don't think.
What do you think about us saying De Zerbi?
I don't think. For me personally, first of all, Brighton, when they lose really bad.
Yeah.
Yesterday as an example.
Yeah, so
Not a good defensive team. At
Yeah.
all.
they lose really bad, so they'll get the 4-0s, the 5-1.
But they don't really have good defensive players anyway.
Yeah.
They don't. But then again, you really believe that because going from Brighton to Liverpool is a totally different monster. Going from Brighton to Chelsea is a totally different monster. And especially the Chelsea in which it was last year, so the constant chaos and everything, it's not the same thing. You saw Potter, bro. He got the fresh haircut when he came.
With the suit, Champions League night. Oh, that was one of the greatest things.
He was all dripped out. You saw a month later, this guy was not sleeping. You saw the eye bags. It's a totally different animal going from these big clubs to these other clubs. So me personally, I don't think De Zerbi has done enough within the Premier League itself to warrant a transitional move to Liverpool.
But I'm looking at it from the lens of like his fundamentals, like his coaching philosophies. I think that he's demonstrated it.
If anything, and I know this sounds so stupid. If Liverpool wants a coach that's Prem proven, Liverpool proven to continue the style of play, Brendan Rodgers.
Oh my God!
No,
Yo.
see, they can't run that back. I was gonna say when you raised the point about
crazy.
Xabi Alonso maybe